Hillstone CloudEdge. Enable and secure your remote workforce within 30 minutes. This video will show you how to set up CloudEdge on your corporate network to be an SSL VPN server. This will allow you or your remote workforce to connect to your corporate network from anywhere, in this case, your home. You can see that we have tried to ping the corporate server from home with no success. The internal server IP is 10.2.10.200.50. At the moment, we cannot ping the corporate server. In this demonstration, we will use VMware for the enterprise cloud management. Now we log into this VMware virtualized environment. We will use TeamViewer to connect to the internal network. We will set up the VMware CloudEdge version on the corporate network. After logging into vCenter, we will use a web console to deploy a new OVF template. Choose Local File, and choose CloudEdge. Select the OVA version. We can set up the name for the virtual machine, and select the computer resources to be used. Then select Storage, and set up Network. Now we can wait for the deployment. After deployment is complete, we can start the VM by powering it on. Let's use the VMware console to log into the device. When the device is finished loading, you can log into the device and check the interface IP address. By default, the interface will get a DHCP IP address automatically. Now that we are done, let's ping the corporate server from CloudEdge. We can use HTTPS to log into the device to configure it over a web UI. Next, let's set up a policy for CloudEdge, and also set up an SNAT for CloudEdge. Next, we will set up an SSL VPN server. The first step is to set up the VPN name and the AAA server to be used. Next, set up the interface to be bound to the SSL VPN server. And we will add a new tunnel interface for the SSL VPN user. We set up this interface with IP address 192.168.200.1. Next, is to set up the SSL VPN user address pool. Set up the tunnel route. We can set up the traffic authorized to visit 10.2.10.200.024. This subnet will use the VPN tunnel. We have now finished setting up the SSL VPN server configuration as well as setting up a local user. The CloudEdge configuration is now complete. Now we will go to the gateway firewall to set up the DNAT for CloudEdge. Log into the Office Gateway Firewall. A Hillstone T-Series is used for the gateway in the office. If you're using another vendor solution, you can follow the same steps but the configuration may be different. First, set up a service for DNAT for both TCP and UDP protocols. Next, set the DNAT policy. Now, we can create a new port mapping. The destination IP address is the Office Gateway public IP address, and the service is user-defined new service for SSL VPN. The mapping IP address is the CloudEdge OO's IP address, and the port map is SSL VPN service port 4433. Then, we can set up a policy for this port mapping. Next, work-from-home employees can download the Hillstone SSL VPN client from Hillstone Networks on your home laptop. Supported platforms are Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android and iOS. Start the client and enter the Office Gateway public IP address, port, username and password. The client will now connect to CloudEdge. And there you have it, your remote workforce can now securely and remotely connect to the corporate server. You've now seen how easy it is to use CloudEdge to set up an SSL VPN server in your internal corporate network. If you need more information, please contact Hillstone Networks. Thank you.